D.Va is in the tank role, but when you play her, you should really ignore that and have one objective in mind: be as annoying as possible to the enemy team. Let me explain. I used to play Overwatch competitively back in 2018, but I had to quit. I wanted to pick the game back up, but naturally, my skills have greatly degraded. Did my gameplay improve after those 50 games? Yes, but it came at the cost of a very humbling experience. I split the 50 games into two halves, 25 games of 6v6 and 25 games of role queue, so I could see how D.Va played in different dynamics. Starting with 6v6. The first 7 games were completely blind. Just me running on whatever I remember from 2018 and trying not to embarrass myself against all those new heroes I didn't recognize. I played safe, stayed with the team, held my ground, and honestly, I wasn't doing bad, but I was just existing and not making much of a difference. After those first games, I decided to check some guides to see if I was even playing her right. Turns out, I wasn't. D.Va is not meant to sit with the team and absorb damage. She's an aggressive tank. Her job is to push into the enemy and create problems. So for the rest of my 6v6 games, I played more aggressively, and it paid off. I was making more of an impact and actually contributing to the wins instead of just being there. And in the games we lost, hey, at least I knew I wasn't a detriment. Then I switched to role queue, and everything fell apart. In 6v6, I had another tank to back me up. When I dove in without much of a plan, there was somebody holding the line if I made a mistake. In role queue, you are the only tank. That changes everything. For about 10 games, I kept the same aggressive style. I was still winning some, but my plays were more impactful and not in a good way. I would dive deep into enemy territory, maybe get a kill, but then I was stuck on the wrong side of the fight with no way out. I'd die, and the rest of the team couldn't capitalize because I was too far away. The enemy just regrouped and rolled them, especially without their tank to back them up. I knew what I was supposed to do: be aggressive, dive, create pressure, but I had no idea how to actually do it without dying. I couldn't judge when to go in, especially when the squishes were open for an attack but far away. So I went back to the guides, but there was a problem. Most D.Va content is geared towards competitive play, where you have comms and your team is coordinating with you. That doesn't translate to solo queue at all because most people don't use their comms. But one concept kept coming up that did help: high ground. For the next 10 games, I focused on playing from high ground and diving down. That alone made a big difference. I could see where the players were, plan my dives, and more importantly, plan my escape. I was still diving too deep sometimes, but I was dying a lot less because I wasn't going blind anymore. I was surviving more, but I was still struggling to create real openings. I'd push too far, overcommit, and even when I lived, I wasn't creating real opportunities for the team. Ironically, it wasn't until the last 5 games when everything really clicked. And the answer was simpler than I expected. And don't facepalm too hard when you hear this. The answer was: stay with the team. Instead of constantly looking for a dive, I pushed with my team. I stayed close, and then, when I saw a real opening, a support out of position, a DPS caught off guard, I would dive in, do my damage, and fly back to the team for healing. If the pick wasn't there, I didn't force it. I just flew back and repositioned to a different angle. And here's what surprised me. The kills were great when I got them, but most of my value wasn't coming from picks at all. It was coming from pressure. The enemy backline knew I could dive at any moment. Even when I wasn't diving, they had to watch out for me. They had to split their attention between the fight in front of them and the D.Va that may drop on their head at any second. The mental burden alone was creating space for my team to win fights. The last 5 games were the most fun I had with these 50 games because I felt I was making a difference. In some of the games, even the enemy team complimented me in chat, and one group actually invited me to play competitively. D.Va's power is twofold. She can remove a support or DPS in seconds when the moment is right. But even when she doesn't dive, the enemy backline has to act like she might if they see her. That split attention is where your team wins fights. It's psychological warfare. I'm here. Don't forget I'm here. I'm going to get you real soon, but you will never know when.